Good morning. Welcome to this video series, which will go into tremendous detail from the beginning, explaining most of everything about Breathsavers, sometimes called wind savers, sometimes called valves. The specific project at hand was a harp that was sent to me. This is a Seidel Saxony, and this individual removed all their wind savers and sent it and said, please put on new ones. They wanted fresh ones and new ones. A good player will do that. So we're going to go through the whole arc of information. What is a wind saver or breath saver? What do they do? What's their function? How do they function? And what's involved when you go to fix them? And what are the steps in fixing them? And what works well and maybe what doesn't? And I think we're going to do more than one, breath saver here in this. I'll try to do several. I don't know if I'm going to do, 48, but I'll certainly do quite a few. So welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Okay, well let's begin with a discussion of what a wind saver is. Now this is a Pisardo. I think this one's an Elite, kind of a parts thing I have here, but if you take a look, and like way over here, this white thing here, that is a Breathsaver wind saver valve. I'm going to just call them Breathsavers, I think, from now on. And you'll notice that there's one of them here, but there's not one over there. Now, normal harmonicas have a reed plate, but these are reed platelets. Same thing though, in terms of the wind savers, you'll see that they're in two reed groupings. There was one up here, but there isn't one there. And let's pop open the Pisardo and I'll show you what's really going on the inside there, so you know. I'm just going to tug one of these. To get the reed platelets out on a Pisardo, you just undo these teeny little screws. So you can actually work on any two reed grouping to do setting of reed gaps or repair of a reed or replacement. Okay. Now, what you'll see is that one side has a wind saver on it, here, up on top, and down here is the reed, but you'll see that this is where the reed is, kind of connected to the reed platelet. So the wind saver goes on the other one, okay, which if we look at this, what would that other one be? It would be a reed slot. It covers the reed slot. Now, if you flip this over, it's just the opposite, where you have a reed, you had a slot up on the top, but now you have a reed, and then here you have the wind saver, which is over the slot. So what are these things doing, and why are they in the harp to begin with? Well, if you think of it, every chamber in a comb, this is a comb, and that chamber here holds two reeds. Okay? One of them is attached up here, and the other one is riveted on here. Okay? Now, if you think about it, you'll realize that where those reeds sit in that comb chamber, there are actually 4 lines of air loss all the way along one side of the reed, where the side of the reed is close to the reed plate. And then there's the other side of the reed, okay? And so that's a line of air loss, a line of air loss. Here is, let's say, where it's held on, no air loss, but the far end that wiggles on a reed, that can have air loss too, okay? So you have, for every reed, 1, 2, 3 lines of air loss, and each chamber has 2 reeds, so that makes 6 possible lines of air loss, which is a lot when you're doing draws and blows. And so what happens is that if these are the wind savers, and this one here, okay, would, let's say, be on the upper plate, and that means in this position here, we'd have a reed sitting there, okay? Well, if you were to draw, okay, this wind saver seals all the way around that reed, where this one lifts up so that air can activate the reed. So that's kind of what it does, is that it closes up the lines around one of the reeds, a blow or a draw, while the other one is being activated and wiggles. And of course, when the one is activating, you'll see, if you look in the mirror at your harp, that the wind saver comes away from the reed plate on the reed that's actually playing. So it's kind of like air holes closing and opening. That's essentially how they work. And so that's an explanation of what is a wind saver. I'll also mention that they have 2 components, usually. There is a lower part that's thinner that touches the reed plate, and an upper part that might be a little thicker that provides down pressure. So most of the reeds on the harp, with the exception of the ones at the highest notes, are going to be a construction of 2. Otherwise, they're just 1. And they're made out of various forms of polymers. And oftentimes they're dimpled because they stick less. Okay, so we have now at least covered what is a breath saver. And in the next video, we're going to go over why they go bad.